The most annoying thing about owning a 30-year-old RV is all the appliances are so outdated. We've made a ton of upgrades in the last year, but it feels like everything needs its own app. Nothing talks to each other. And then if we're trying to remotely monitor anything, it's just a disaster. So today we're installing a system that's going to allow everything in the RV to talk to each other and allow remote monitoring and control from anywhere in the world. This is the heart of the system. We've partnered with ROAMiQ. I can't wait to get this installed. I already have a full Victron system with a servo that controls everything. And the idea is to make the servo talk to the Roam, and then the Roam will talk to everything else. What really drew me to ROAMiQ is that I really didn't want to have to run all new communication wiring to all the appliances. We are full-time in this RV, and tearing open walls is not an option for us. The first step in getting the system up and running is installing the ROAMiQ hub and connecting the Ethernet cables to our router. I've been using my own travel router because it's very energy efficient and it's powered by USB-C, which is the same way that I'm choosing to power the ROAMiQ. There is also the option to run the hub from DC power using these two terminals. I have one setting I need to change on the servo. Normally I'd use a servo screen, but I don't have a servo screen in this rig, so I'm using my VRM. This is giving me the same screen as a servo screen, and then I just need to go to settings and integrations, and then scroll all the way down to server applications, MQTT access, and I need to turn that on. That's it. I can close this down, and now the servo is talking to the ROAMiQ. There's no other setup than that. It's hardwired into the network. It just automatically picks up the servo and then starts reading from it. Now, I said I didn't have a servo screen in this rig, and the reason for that is because ROAMiQ sent me their screen, which has a lot more functionality than the servo screen, and also connect as a servo screen. This one is a lot bigger than the servo screen, but it's also got a couple of relays on the back that you can use to control a furnace or a water pump. You've got two options to power this screen. You've got PoE, which is power over Ethernet. I don't have that set up in this rig. And then there's the DC barrel connector, which is a 12-volt DC barrel connector, and it plugs into an outlet. In theory, that works, but in practice, it doesn't work because that will be plugged into the inverter, and this screen is going to control my inverter and turn it on and off. So if I use this screen to turn off the inverter, it will kill power to the screen, and then I won't be able to turn the inverter back on from the screen. I'll have to go to my laptop or my phone or go to the inverter itself and push the button to turn it back on. So I'm going to change that, and I'm going to run it direct from DC 12-volt power. To convert this plug to 12-volt DC, I need a few things. I have Wagos here that I'm going to use to make the connections. You could also use crimp connectors, but I like the Wagos. Don't use wire nuts. Wire nuts do not belong in an RV. I need wire strippers. I also need an inline fuse and a 3-amp fuse. And then I also need my multimeter. The wire is marked. One of them is striped, and then the other one is solid black. There is a convention that tells you which one is which, but I forget what it is. That's why we have the meter, so we can just confirm. We snip the wires, gonna separate them like that, and then strip a little bit off each end. Just like that. Now we're gonna get our multimeter and turn it to continuity, which is that setting right there. You see the little, looks like a sound wave. And make sure it is getting continuity, so touching them together, it beeps. Now you can see the plug is marked, and it shows that the outside of the barrel is the negative side. If I use my multimeter, I touch one lead to the outside of the barrel and the other lead to one of these wires, whichever one makes it beep is going to be the negative wire. So I'm going to touch one lead here like this, and then we'll get the other lead. Okay. So we've got continuity on the solid black wire for negative. This one is no continuity, and then if I change it to touch the inside of the barrel, there we go. So that's touching the barrel on the inside, and then the striped one is positive. So because the striped one's positive, that's the one we're going to put our fuse on. So we get our Wago. And you get an inline one like this. There's actually a wire gauge on the Wagos themselves that shows you how far to strip it. We put it in, lock it down, that's it. Make sure it doesn't come out. Then we take our inline fuse, cut it, and lock it. Now we have an inline fuse on our positive terminal going to the barrel connector. I need to get rid of this ancient solar controller. I deliberately left this in place when I upgraded to a full Victron system because I had a feeling that I wanted to put a screen here, and the wires are attached to the back, which makes it real easy to pull the new wires because I'll just use the old wires as a pull cord. These wires connected to this solar controller are dead. They've been disconnected for a long time. I just left them connected to the solar controller just so they wouldn't fall back in the hole and get lost. No, we don't need this anymore. Now that we got the inline fuse mocked up, I took it back off because I don't want it to get caught on anything while I'm trying to pull the wires down. Get some electrician's tape and do a few wraps. And then this one is ready to get pulled down. Now I do have another wire here, which is also dead, but I'm going to use it. I want to get Roam to control my furnace. Use this to pull these wires. This is a 2-core 18-2 marine grade cable that I'm going to run as far as my furnace. The screen has 2 relays on the rear, and you can use those to control anything instead of having to use a Shelly relay or something like that. So I'm just going to run this because my furnace is right behind the fridge. Now we've got 2 wires ready to go. We're at the back of the fridge. This is the fridge vent, and these are the 2 wires that were connected inside, and I'm using them to pull from the inside. Now we're ready to connect these wires on the back of the fridge. But first we got to find and pull the fuse to the fridge to kill power. Got the wires hooked up. I'm going to put the fuse in. The fuse is still out on the fuse board, but this one will be in now, so we don't have to come back to it. There we go. Those wires now are tucked away at the back, away from anything hot that might melt them. And then this is the wire that I'm going to send to my furnace, which is right there. I already have a hole. I'm going to just push this down through that hole, and then it will be down by the furnace. We're back inside. We've got our 2 wires right here ready to go, and we also have the mounting plate. And I don't want to do any like extra blocking and stuff around the back. I'm going to actually just modify this plate, and I'm just going to drill a couple holes in the plate and then screw those directly into the wood. Now this is the relay connection on the back of the screen. Common is in the center, and then 1 is on the left side. And it comes with these terminals, and they just go right in there. So I'm going to put my black wire going to my furnace in the center, and then on the one side I'm going to put the red wire. Moment of truth. Time to turn this thing on. Okay, we got the loading screen, and now we have to get it set up to connect this to the Wi-Fi so that it can connect to the hub. To find the Wi-Fi settings, we swipe down from the top right side of the screen, and then we select Internet. Choose the same network that we plugged our ROAMiQ hub into. Put in our password and hit connect, and that's it. Now we go back to the home screen by tapping the little circle at the bottom of the screen, and then we open up the ROAMiQ panel. Now I click the little home icon on the top of the screen, and it's going to bring me to sign into Home Assistant. The default username was admin, and the password was printed on the back of my hub. Now our screen and our hub are connected, and the best part is I didn't have to run any wires between them. Now it's time to get things set up. I pick ROAMiQ Setup on the left side of the screen. This is the wizard that's going to basically scan my entire RV for all the smart systems that I have, and it's going to pull it all into ROAMiQ. On the next page, you choose what vehicle you have. I don't have a Sprinter or a Transit, so I'm going to pick Other, and I do have a Victron power system. Now on the bottom there's an option for a home location. I move around a lot, so I actually have a GPS dongle that I've plugged into my Serbo that tracks the location, and that will be automatically pulled into ROAMiQ, so I don't need to put anything down here for home location. On the next page I do have a Gree air conditioner, so I'm going to select that, and I also have a Reolink camera that I use to monitor the dogs when I'm not in the van, so I need to scan for that and then put in the password from the Reolink app. The next page shows all the other devices that ROAMiQ was able to pick up from around my RV. I'm going to ignore iBeacon, but I do have these Ruby tags that I'm going to use. I didn't do this, and I wish I did, was rename each one of these sensors to something that actually makes sense rather than just Ruby tag and a number. Like call it fridge, temperature, or whatever, because it just makes it easier to keep track of everything. And then I have a Shelly relay that's going to control the light above the dog bed, so I'm going to enable that one too. On the next page, the ROAMiQ LED is actually the surround backlight around the screen, so I want to turn that on. And then I want to find my Shelly relay for dog bed light, and I want to enable that in switches as well. I'm going to ignore cameras for right now. AC, I'm using a Gree, so I'm going to pick Other. Heater, my heater is a standard heater. It's not a smart heater, so I'm not going to pick heater here. We're going to do that later. And then max fan. I don't have my max fan integrated with ROAMiQ just yet, but the guys over at ROAMiQ just told me they released a new chip that will be able to control the max fan deluxe wirelessly. Now remember when I said to rename those temperature sensors? This is why. Look at the list of sensors here. I went back and renamed mine to RV interior temperature. So I'm going to pick that one right here. And I got another one for fridge and freezer. And then I'm going to select the role that each sensor is going to have, so that way ROAMiQ knows what temperature range is correct for each sensor. And then I don't have a motorized bed, awnings, water pump, or water heater hooked up, so I'm just going to click the next button. The next page is going to give me a preview of what the ROAMiQ interface is going to look like on the tablet and also on my phone app. And then on the last page, you can set up different users so that if you lend out your rig, no one can accidentally make any changes and they still get all the functionality. And then that's it. I just hit complete setup and then ROAMiQ will build me a custom dashboard for my rig. This is ROAMiQ Control Center. It's the main page of the ROAMiQ system and it's where I'm going to be able to control and monitor everything in my RV. But first I need to make a couple tweaks. First one is the air conditioner. Right now I click on it and nothing happens. On the top right corner of the screen there's a pencil. That's going to put us in edit mode. Now I can click on the air conditioner and select GREE from the drop down menu. And then I just hit save and hit done in the top right corner of the screen. And now my air conditioner is fully integrated. So if I touch the air conditioner, I get full control interface right on the screen and I can just touch the snowflake to enable cool mode, and just like that the air conditioner will turn on and start cooling. Everything in the center column is related to our Victron electrical system and you can actually see the AC load spike as the air conditioner turns on. The center column is where we're going to get our battery state of charge information for the last 7 days. It's also where we can see how much solar power we've made in the last 7 days, as well as our current solar yield for the day. And by touching the green box that says inverter in the middle of the screen, we have full control over the inverter on-off charger, just like on a servo screen. And if you want to change some more in-depth settings on your Victron system, you can click on the lightning bolt all the way on the left side of the screen. That will bring you into the servo interface, which will show you the screen exactly as it is if you had a servo screen, except now it's all in one place and it's all in ROAMiQ. On the top of the left column, we've got the lighting controls. So like the backlight of the screen, which is actually RGB. So if you click the pencil in the top corner and then click on the LED itself, there's a little box to tick for RGB. Then you click save and then hit done in the top corner. And now if you do a long press on the LED, you can change the color of the backlight to whatever color you want. We also have controls for the dog bed light, which is a 30-year-old existing fixture that I wired up with a Shelly relay to be able to have full control through ROAMiQ and also manual control from the switch. That is one of the things that I like about the ROAMiQ system, is that it's a layer on top of what's existing. So everything still works without ROAMiQ. If for some reason something goes wrong with the system, I can still control everything manually, just like before. I want to finish cleaning up this section by getting rid of the bed and awning controls that I don't need. On the bottom of the left column is all my tank information. I have 3 Mopica wireless tank sensors that are connected directly to my servo, and then ROAMiQ is just pulling the information from my servo, so I didn't actually have to set this up. ROAMiQ automatically does it when you plug into the Victron. Now in the right column we have all of our weather, location, and temperature information. I can see the forecast for the week. I also have a map where I can see the location of the rig. And at the bottom we have our temperature readouts for interior, fridge, and freezer. Remember earlier when I ran the wires down from the screen to my furnace? Well, I connected them up. And now I want to add furnace control to my ROAMiQ. And here it is. This is my furnace control. It's taking the readings from the interior temperature sensors and using that to set the set point for my furnace. So I can just set whatever temperature I want and it will maintain that temperature. And that's it. I have my home screen fully set up the way I want, and I have full control over everything I could need. Now ROAMiQ does have other dedicated dashboards, like this one for energy that has a little bit more information on what the Victron system is doing. There's also the security dashboard, which allows me to remote in and control and monitor the Reolink camera that I can put in when the dogs are in the van and I'm not there, which I can do by signing up to their cloud service, which allows me to have the same functionality as I have on the screen right now from a computer or my phone anywhere in the world. It's been about a month now since I installed the ROAMiQ, and I wanted to share some honest thoughts on using it day to day. ROAMiQ is a great way to modernize an older RV or van. If I wanted to modernize my RV, I would have to run so much control wires all over the place. It really is not feasible for something of this age. I don't want to do a full refit. The fact that the hub can be mounted somewhere next to the router, and all it needs is an Ethernet connection and a power, and then I can put the screen somewhere else and I can power it separately, that is a game changer. The other thing I really like about ROAMiQ is that it's modular. You don't have to have everything as a smart appliance day one. I've integrated my Victron system, I've integrated my air conditioner, and I integrated a light and my furnace, but not everything in the rig is set up for smart control. So if later I want to add a smart light in the bathroom, all I have to do is upgrade that one little thing. It makes it a lot easier and less daunting to just slowly implement it rather than trying to do everything all at once. The other thing I really like about ROAMiQ is it brings everything into one place. I used to have to open my Victron app for my power, open a different app to see what the temperatures were like, another one to turn on the air conditioner. It was just messy before, and now it's all in one place. It makes it a lot easier just to have full control over everything. ROAMiQ works really well with the Victron system. It automatically integrates, so I didn't even have to set it up. I just told it I had a Victron system and it pulled all the data in. The other thing I like about ROAMiQ is it doesn't get rid of manual control. So I still have a physical thermostat for my furnace that I can use. I still have buttons on my air conditioner that I can push to turn it on. Still have a button on my light that I can turn it on and off. The switches on the wall still work. It all still works. ROAMiQ is just floats above it all and then brings it all together into one place, but each individual thing still works on its own. The other good thing about ROAMiQ is it's built on Home Assistant. That is open source. So like say if I wanted a custom integration for my light, I can just build it on Home Assistant. I don't need to call up ROAMiQ or send them an email or schedule a service tech to do anything. Like I don't need to go to them for it. I can do it myself. The remote access is the real reason that I got ROAMiQ. I have 2 dogs and I live full-time in an RV. Sometimes I need to go to the gym, or I need to go to the grocery store, or I need to go on a hike or whatever, and they can't come. I have to leave them in the van. I need to make sure that they are safe and comfortable. So before I had ROAMiQ, I'd have to see what the temperature is going to be like for the day, and then either turn on my fans or turn off my fans, close them, and turn on my air conditioner and just leave it running. With ROAMiQ, it's all there in the one app. I have multiple temperature sensors throughout the rig. I have one in my fridge, one in my freezer, one in the inside, one in the outside. I can see all the temperatures right away. It monitors it, and you can see like historical data. As soon as I open the app, I can see like, oh, in the last 5 minutes, it's gone up 5 degrees. I better turn down the air conditioner. Now the ROAMiQ remote access is a subscription, and I personally really don't like subscriptions, but when you compare it to like the competitors, pet temperature tracking apps and things like that, it's $100 a year or $10 a month. And I think most of the competitors are at least double that. All of their apps, all they do is tell you how hot it is in the vehicle and that the dogs are too hot. It doesn't let you do anything about that. At least with ROAMiQ, if the temperature's starting to get a little bit too hot, I can either automate it so that the air conditioner automatically turns on, or I can remote in and drop the set point of the air conditioner to cool it off even more in the van, and that way I can know for certain that my dogs are safe. So because of all the functionality that the cloud service gives me, I do think it is worth it. After having ROAMiQ in the RV for over a month now, one of the things that actually surprised me was that I hardly use the screen at all. Yeah. I might check it like 2 or 3 times a day, see what my batteries are doing, see what my tank levels are at, but that's about it. How I actually use ROAMiQ on a daily basis is, say, it's the end of the day and I'm climbing up into my bed, which is up here, right? And then I'm all comfy cozy, but my light switch is all the way over here and I'm like, oh, I forgot to turn off the light. So I just go, Siri, turn off dog bed light. And then it turns off. That's where it really shines for me, and like it integrates perfectly with Siri. It just makes things a lot smoother. So I'm like sitting at my desk and I'm editing and I'm starting to feel a little bit too hot, and I just, hey Siri, turn on air conditioner. And that's it. It just turns on. It's so much easier than like having to get up and go over there and push the button and whatever else. So honestly, the Siri integration with my phone is how I actually use ROAMiQ the most. I don't even use the app. I just talk to Siri and it takes care of it. It just makes overall life in an RV and in a van a lot easier. So like it just takes one less thing off my plate that I don't have to worry about. So my day-to-day just gets a lot smoother. Now, as with everything, there's some things that aren't so great. The setup with ROAMiQ was a little bit tedious. It wasn't the most intuitive thing that I've ever had to deal with. But again, it wasn't the hardest thing either. It just took a little bit of time. I wasn't familiar at all with Home Assistant at the time. I'm sure if I'd used Home Assistant before, it would have been a lot easier for me. Another thing to think about is that every rig is different. You're going to want a pretty robust electrical system to make ROAMiQ worth it for your rig. The hub takes a little bit of energy. The screen takes a little bit of energy. All the lights take energy, all the appliances take energy, everything like saps on your bank. You need a decent solar system, you need a decent battery bank to even consider like trying to make your RV a smart RV. The other thing that's something to consider is that ROAMiQ is built on Home Assistant. That is open source. If you had the time and the inclination and the skills, you could build it yourself. But what ROAMiQ does is it puts all of that functionality in a small little black box and on a screen, and it just does it for you. You're not the tech support. Like, you're not the guy, oh, this integration isn't working. Oh, I need to fix this. Like, they've done all that work. You don't have to worry about it. It's really just plug and play and set it up and it works. Overall, I'm really happy with the ROAMiQ install. It's brought our almost 30-year-old RV now into the modern age. There's no RV that comes out on the market right now where I can talk to my phone from anywhere in the world and turn on the air conditioner. Nobody's selling that. It's so much more advanced than anything that they're selling right now that I'm really, really happy with it. And I'm looking forward to adding more integrations as we go and we continue on our RV life journey. And I want to see what we can do with this.